Next presenter is Peter Hunt from SciQuest.
Good afternoon to you all, and thanks very much, ChemAxon, for a wonderful lunch. My name is Peter Hunt. I'm the Senior Solutions Engineer for SciQuest, covering Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And over there is my boss, Sales Director, David Remington. I tell you, he's the boss, he's sitting down, and I'm standing up doing the work. Right, first of all, about SciQuest. We provide both chemical life cycle tracking or management solution and procurement software as well, e-procurement software. And what we aim to do is, historically, our procurement software has been used by lots of types of organizations to procure products and services from the suppliers they do business with. So in the basic sort of instance, you could view our procurement software as being a bit like Amazon.com, except you have control over what suppliers and content your end users see, and also the pricing will be relevant to your organization. If you're buying office-based supplies, it's really straightforward. When you start getting into the chemical inventory side of procurement, things become a lot different. Also, our customers that use our chemical tracking software are very focused on providing tools to allow their end users to search for existing sources of a chemical inventory within their organization, rather than just going out and buying it from the suppliers. So, as an organization, what we aim to do is provide chemical inventory search and tracking tools to meet the needs of the end research user community. So allow the end users to find containers of chemicals or substances they need for their organization, for their experiments, without necessarily just going out and buying something from a supplier. As part of our tool, what we like to do as well, what our customers like about us, is we also enforce compliance and standards. So, for example, our chemical tracking software supports GHS, Global Harmonized Standards, for chemical tracking, REACH standards, and also we incorporate things like material safety data sheets to give a complete view of inventory data to the end user community. And finally, very importantly, purchasing integration into the supply chain. Whether you like it or not, when you buy something, you become part of the supply chain in the organization. Someone needs to fill, for the items that you want to buy, someone needs to place the purchase order with your suppliers. Your procurement department, more often than not, will have negotiated special pricing with your suppliers, and what they'd rather you not do is go out to your own contacts and purchase chemical supplies from somebody you've just known for years, rather than do business through the approved suppliers that your purchasing department has built up relationships with. So what we try to do is, our chemical tracking system also gives the end users access to contracted supplier information that your procurement organization has put in place. We do all this through a combination of software and services. We're a software and services organization, but our software also recognizes that we often need to integrate into lots of existing platforms and systems within the organization. So, for example, we've got a lot of experience of integrating into SAP, Ariba, and you heard from Melanie's presentation from Imperial this morning, how we integrate into Oracle. As a company, SciQuest, our primary markets we focus on are higher education, pharmaceutical, life sciences, more in the US, healthcare, commercial, and public sector. We've got about 350 customers across the world currently today, and we have very high customer satisfaction within our existing customer base, and that is very much proven by the number of customers that renew their contracts with us. We're headquarters in Raleigh, North Carolina, about 275 employees, and just over 42 million euros in revenue last year. So what about this chemical tracking tool? What does it do? Well, basically, the system itself is an inventory tracking tool which tracks the life cycle of chemicals from their receipt from the suppliers through to their eventual disposal and all points in between. So from the researcher's perspective, we give them a front-end set of search tools to search for the existing inventory, and those searches could be by CAS number, common name, other chemical identifiers, or chemical structure searches as well. But the idea at the end of the day is to present the researcher simultaneously with a view of all existing containers of inventory for the search they've done, whether that inventory be in labs, stock rooms, or storerooms. Also simultaneously, the system will also display suppliers, external suppliers of the inventory that you're interested in. So if there isn't any existing inventory actually returned, then you have direct online access to your suppliers' catalogues to order those items from external suppliers at the pricing that has been negotiated with those suppliers. The other things it does as well, I say it tracks a life cycle. As part of the tracking tool, there are functions in place to allow end users to request containers that may be owned by other people, to transfer containers from one lab to another, and for ownership from one person to another. It also supports things like project-based inventory. So if you want to buy something or you want to ring-fence chemical inventory related to a specific project you're working on, or a budget, or a European grant, you can do that as well to ensure that chemical inventory that's related to what you're doing and maybe related to your cost center is protected. And the third point is it improves control, compliance, and reduces purchase costs. One of the big things that our customers like is by driving the end users to use existing containers of inventory, it reduces the number of containers they have on site and therefore reduces disposal costs as well. So the less you buy and the more you reuse internally, the fewer the containers that you have to dispose of at the end of the day. We're used by 7 of the top 10 global pharmaceutical companies, so GSK, Sanofi Aventis, Novartis, Eli Lilly, Eisai, Roche Hoffmann, all use our chemical tracking software either locally or globally, depending upon the implementations. Certainly GSKs around the world. In terms of our relationship with ChemAxon, we've had a relationship for a certain period of time, and the two specific pieces of the ChemAxon technical stack we used are actually the JChem cartridge and the Marvin tools. Our chemical tracking system links into a lot of external chemical structure databases, either internal databases or things like the ACD, for example, and we use the JChem cartridge technology to enable us to actually search and retrieve. And Marvin, we integrate with Marvin to allow the drawing of substructures and substructure searching, and using that as a driver to find internal chemical inventory to use in our experiments. David and I are outside in the corner by the doors, so if you'd like a demonstration of how this chemical inventory software works, then I'd be more than happy to show you. Thank you.